I'm sure you have seen it. I saw at least a dozen articles about it going into the new year. Mickey Mouse is in the public domain. Kind of. I'm using the one from Variety. Mickey Mouse long a symbol in copyright wars set to enter public domain. It's finally happening. They start the article talking about someone who got arrested for doing stuff. Mickey and Minnie will enter the public domain on January 1st, which was Monday. From then on, Disney will no longer enjoy an exclusive copyright over the earliest versions of the characters. Underground cartoonists, filmmakers, novelists, songwriters, whoever will be free to do what they want with them. Kind of. Now, the thing with this is it's Steamboat Willie, because there is a thing where it's 96, it's some weird number. I want to say 96 years. For the record, I should have said this up front. Obviously, not a copyright lawyer, not a lawyer. Do not take anything I say as the gospel and stuff like this. However, it's been the appropriate amount of time since Steamboat Willie came out. So the Steamboat Willie variant of Mickey Mouse, the first variant, the one that Disney currently uses as their logo for Disney animation, that version of Mickey, that classic black and white version, the steering, you've seen it, you know exactly what we're talking about. I could show a clip of it right now if I wanted to, because it's in the public domain. Mickey Mouse himself and Minnie Mouse herself are not. If you were to try to use a current picture of Mickey Mouse, fully colorized, going, ho ho, and stuff like that, same deal with Minnie and their outfits, the House of Mouse would rain down upon you with the ire and the fire of 1,000 burning suns, probably 1,000,000 burning suns, because they have a lot of lawyers. And that version's still copywritten. What they're talking about is the Steamboat Willie variant is in fact in the public domain, because Steamboat Willie, the short itself, is now public domain, and there's a lot of cool, interesting things about that. You can do new things with the character, you can do things in that world, you can do all sorts of stuff, and it's already gotten weird, because it's not even been 48 hours, and as of me recording this, and Steamboat Willie has already gotten not one, but 2 horror movies. There's already 2 different horror movies, one of which was already filmed. We're going to watch a trailer of that later, which means people were ready for this. They were going to film it and do stuff like that. But to read this article from Variety, first there was Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which if you missed that last year, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet entered the public domain last year, and someone immediately made that into a horror movie. Tigger, someone else from the Winnie the Pooh canon, is public domain as of right now as well. So they're going to be in the sequel to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which, despite getting some awful reviews, is getting a sequel because they can do it, so they are. Anyway, first there was said Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now get ready for Steamboat Willie horror films. The 1928 version of Mickey Mouse entered the public domain on Monday, and indie horror producers are wasting no time capitalizing on it, because it's always horror. It is always the horror film, even before it's public domain. You might have noticed in 2013, well before the House of Mouse was in the public domain, there was, I'm going to pause that. Nope. Pause that, because I don't trust that. Randy Moore was a independent filmmaker who filmed on their iPhone at Disney World and Disneyland a surrealist horror movie set in these worlds. It was called Escape from Tomorrow. Disney tried to sue, but since he didn't innately call everything this way, as you can tell from the trailer, very clearly saying Goofy, did some stuff, but didn't call it Disney. It's a whole weird thing. Horror is always the first to get into it, especially when novels go into the public domain. Last year, The Great Gatsby came out into the public domain, and yes, there was already The Great Gatsby and the zombies. For some reason, it's always zombies. You can see the trailer and the picture cover right there. But yeah, the 1928 version of Mickey Mouse entered it. Steve Lamort is set to direct an untitled horror comedy based on Mickey's cartoon debut. In it, a sadistic mouse will torment a group of unsuspecting ferry passengers, because, you know, Steamboat Willie's a ferry captain, so that makes sense. Production is set to begin in the spring. Steamboat Willie has brought joy to generations, but beneath that cheerful exterior lies a potential for pure, unhinged horror, Lamort said in a press release, because, sure. It's a project I've been dreaming of, and I can't wait to unleash this twisted take on this beloved character into the world. Now, if you've heard Lamort's name before, it's because this past year they did a horror parody of The Grinch called The Mean One, where it was done in like the vein of like Terrifier, but if that creepy Art the Clown was actually the Grinch. It's weird as hell. I saw a trailer for it. It's on YouTube. Look for it yourself. It's not worth it. Basically they're trying to claim it's from like a love of the characters, but in reality it's easy. Like, it's not like horror has always been historically one of the cheapest genres to film and one of the quickest genres to film. So of course they're going to capitalize on all of this. Despite all this, Disney has said it will also be vigilant in defending its trademarks. The company could sue over any perceived endorsements or affiliations with its brand. That is a big deal. Anytime you see anything involving Steamboat Willie in the public domain, they are going to start with a massive disclaimer saying, hi, we are doing this of our own accord. We are doing this based off of characters and properties that exist in the public domain. There are no endorsements from any hierarchy media conglomerates. And they're going to have to say that every time because Mickey Mouse still exists. There are newer copyrights on Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse in various things exists, and Disney owns those and will continue to own those. But since Steamboat Willie came out in 1928, it's public domain now. Don't know why 96 years is the year mark, but it is. In addition to this, there was also, this announcement follows the release of money of a trailer for Mickey's Mousetrap, another public domain horror comedy directed by Jamie Bailey. That one, which is set in an amusement arcade, appears to already have been shot, which is its own separate thing. Because you can film stuff and you can know, oh, this is illegal. But if we release it after a certain time, this becomes legal. So as long as we don't promote it or let anyone knows that we're doing this, it becomes legal. So despite this being a full-fledged indie movie set to be released sometime in March, it exists. And that is the one that the trailer exists for, which I have not seen the trailer for yet, which I'm very intrigued by because this is cursed as hell. So let's see what this is. Hey, look, it's a fair.
The best party that we can throw.
I've seen some rejections in my time, but man, that was a lot.
There's blood all over the jungle gym.
Blood.
Yes.
Not blood all over the jungle gym. Angry Birds, not in the public domain. They're probably gonna, if any, the hilarity that this is gonna get taken down because there's an Angry Birds arcade machine, but because Angry Birds is not public domain is hilarious to me. You can see it's the classic thing. It's Mickey Mouse in Steamboat Willie. So far, on the Mickey side, they're good. See, this is all fair use. Like, I could literally show the whole entirety of Steamboat Willie on stream and be fine because it's public domain. And I can't.
Yeah, he's like completely in love with me already. It's totally disgusting.
Put the phone down! Put the phone down, please!
I was like, dude, I've already started.
No, Gina, turn around, please, Gina!
Hi, Gina. Okay, we got to break down the mask, how close it is
I'll be right back.
to current Mickey versus Steamboat Willie Mickey.
Man,
So
he's
it's different.
What?
Like if he was in a horror movie, you'd never say, I'll be right back. Because then you don't.
So they're trying to be Scream. Got it. Honestly, it's close enough. They're gonna probably be fine on the mask, especially because it just looks bad. You know?
Where the hell did he go?
So it's, they are somehow trying to capitalize on the fact that they're going for Mickey Mouse's public domain. That's why it's Mickey's Mousetrap. They can't call it Mickey Mouse's Trap. It's Mickey's Mousetrap. That is legal. This is legal. That's fine. They're smart about that. They're also very clearly trying to get on the FNAF market because it's set in an arcade and they're being snarky. Like, it's the entirety of this is clearly meant to be like a meta thing. Oh, wait, hold it, wait. Yeah, no, it's FNAF. They're trying to make this Mickey Mouse FNAF because security. Which is fine, and that's all well and good. But in addition to the movies, there's already a video game too, which means they probably did what that movie did, where it was in pre-production forever, and now that it is officially in the public domain, they just let it go. What I do like, though, just from a copyright perspective, is they've already done a disclaimer. I know I'm covering up a good chunk of it, so to read it in full. Disclaimer: this game is inspired by works that are now in the public domain. This independent creation has not been authorized, sponsored, or otherwise endorsed by any original authors of said works. All content in this game is used under appropriate public domain guidelines and is not affiliated with, related to, or endorsed by any existing intellectual property or trademark holders. So they've just full on covered everything with this, which is good. Let's see how this works, because in addition to these trailers, this is a video game. So there's 3 separate horror entities for Steamboat Willie. This happens to be a video game.
Hey there, thanks for coming out. We've got a bit of an infestation here at the storage facility.
1, find the source.
I thought it was just rodents, but there's something else in here.
2, treat the infestation. Completely unrelated. Sorry, they're also ripping off Lethal Company. How do you feel the creators of Bending and the Ink Machine feel about this? Which, if you're unfamiliar with that, it is unrelated to any character that Disney has made, but is very clearly meant to look in that late 20s, early 30s animation style that Disney did, and that was very popular at the time. So I wonder how... And those games are good. Like, I've played Bending of the Ink Machine. I haven't played any of the sequels, but I liked Bending of the Ink Machine. It's very good. It's very much like old-timey BioShock, for lack of a better descriptive, which I think is what they were going for. But I wonder how people like developers like that feel, where they had to like jump through hoops and make it just perfectly not Disney, to the point now where you can get, well, this.
There's nests.
Oh, that's
everywhere.
gross.
Tried to take
That's
care
an
of
alien
themselves,
ripoff.
but things have escalated.
It's a fucking extermination game where there's a mouse infestation, dear God.
The exterminators are
3
our last
survive.
hope. Please, help us before...
You know what? Yeah, that honestly, that's different enough from Steamboat Willie, even that they could legitimately get away with not doing that and probably wouldn't have gotten sued. Once again, this looks like a Lethal Company ripoff. Like, Infestation 88. It's honestly, I feel like it rips off Lethal Company more than Steamboat Willie. But anyway, that's besides the point. In terms of this, in summation, Mickey Mouse is kind of in the public domain. They're not fully, but the earliest version is. Horror people have already grabbed at it, and it's, well, you saw. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'm not surprised, but I should be. But anyway, thank God for being here. Appreciate y'all.